her baby was not meeting certain neonatal milestones, and that triggered her to start speaking with other doctors and to essentially get a second opinion and eventually contact my office. Want to know what I'm getting at here? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm a childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland. And I would like to talk with you today about why one particular family reached out to my office, and it stems from their baby was not meeting certain neonatal milestones. And because that was the case, then they began to ask more questions. All right, so before I get to the thrust of this video, which is essentially how birth trauma and birth injury attorneys analyze questions like this, which essentially stem around how does a birth injury attorney analyze these types of cases to help a family get a better understanding as to, from a medical legal standpoint, whether they have a viable birth injury claim. All right, so for this particular family, what was going on was that the child was not meeting certain neonatal milestones. At first, they thought that things were, there were a couple of little problems that they noticed early on, but eventually when they discovered that the baby was having a hard time feeding, or the baby was having a hard time eating, the baby was not clapping, the baby was not walking and moving in a timely manner, they began to ask questions, and the mother began to start to think about what happened during labor and delivery, and she was trying to get a better understanding of what was going on with her baby. And it was during this process, as she remembered back through everything, as they went back to labor and delivery, and she remembered that there was meconium present when the water broke, and the baby was blue in color, and there was some early seizure activity and things like that going on. It was at this point in time where, combine this to the baby not meeting certain neonatal milestones, the parents began to reach out and to try to get a second opinion, and ultimately to determine whether speaking with a birth injury attorney was the way to go. And like I said at the start of this video, I want to help you understand, if you are in this process right now or you're thinking about this, I'm going to try to help you understand some of the areas of analysis when a birth injury attorney is attempting to help you understand or to help you get a better idea as to whether you may have a birth injury case. Now, in Maryland law requires certain things that has to happen with cases like this. And we have to be able to show that the treating doctor fell below the standard of care, causing your baby's injury or the harm to your baby. And we do this by getting medical experts to review the records and to be able to get an understanding of the facts surrounding the cases. And anytime, some of the first areas of analysis for a birth injury attorney is going to be what happened during that labor and delivery. Now, there's going to be some other things we want to talk about early on, what was going on with mom. Did mom have things, for example, gestational diabetes, or are there other things present during the pregnancy, preeclampsia, things like that? We're going to deal and we're going to analyze those things, but definitely during labor and delivery, we will be looking at whether there was meconium present. And essentially, I've done other videos on meconium. You can look at those videos. I'm not going to get too deep into it today, but essentially, meconium is that baby stool, and whether that meconium was present. We're going to take a look at also things like the electronic fetal heart monitor, which is monitoring and which is looking at the baby's heart rate, among other things. Was the baby's heart rate too high? Was the baby's heart rate too low? What was variability looking at? Were there late decelerations in regards to the mother, in regards to the contractions and things like that? So we will be looking and analyzing those areas of analysis. In addition to that, we will also be taking a look at what happened during the delivery. What happened as soon as the baby was out? Was the baby blue in color? What did the APGAR scores look like? Was the NICU having to be involved? We will take a look at all of these things and others and try to put together an analysis as to what may have happened and whether the doctor should have moved to an emergency C-section if they didn't in your case. We will be looking to see, should they have moved to an emergency C-section to help your baby out? So why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this really important information? Because like I said earlier, you're probably watching this video right now because your baby has not met certain neonatal milestones, or maybe you have talked with another doctor and this doctor is telling you that the issues that your baby is having right now, they are not genetic. They're not something from the genetic side or some other side, but the results are because of something that the doctors failed to do during labor and delivery. In other words, it was a birth trauma caused by something that the hospital or the doctors failed to do. Maybe you're here because the doctors should have moved to an emergency C-section to help your baby out, and by failing to essentially diagnose your baby's fetal distress and treating that fetal distress appropriately and moving to an emergency C-section if warranted, by failing to do all of those things, this is what has led your baby to suffer a brain injury. If you have more questions about what's going on with your child, if you would like to speak with me about some of these things, this is what I invite you to do. And remember, taking this next action, it costs you absolutely nothing. And what is that action? Pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or you can reach me toll free at 1-833-4BABY-HELP. I can also be reached through email. You can reach me through email at medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. I answer birth trauma and medical malpractice questions with families like yours all the time. This is what we do, and I will be happy to take some time and listen to your story. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here at Boston Law Group, LLC, and we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.